Now, Eyewitness Sports.
Welcome to the latest episode of Double OT with Mark Dondero. I'm Yanni Krokis. We missed last week, which is not like us. We couldn't squeeze it in. We had the draft, and
I wasn't even in the building. I wasn't in the building. We could have done it Thursday. I don't know why we did.
You went to...
you had the interview with Jason Tatum, so that kind of tied up things.
That you were at the draft, and where else were you? Oh, Big Poppy on Friday.
Poppy. I was off 2 days. We were at CVS. It was a tough.
How
week.
bitter are you that we both lost the Emmy?
I wasn't. It wasn't a fun night for me. No. I didn't like losing, no.
Some news reporter in Hartford won because he submits sports stories in the sports reporter category.
Yeah,
thus beating us people who do sports.
Yeah, hey, that's how it goes.
It is what it is. Onward and upward, or something like that. All right, big Adrian Wojnarowski report this afternoon as we tape this on a Tuesday that the Celtics are trying to parlay trading for Paul George and getting Gordon Hayward of the Utah Jazz to create a mini super team, if you will. Some things have to fall in place, but because it comes from Wojnarowski, who's the Adam Schefter of NBA, this is serious now. What do you make of it?
Okay, so you just said it right there. A mini super team. That's the problem here. It would be a mini super team. It wouldn't be a real super team like you have in Golden State. And again, as we know, especially in Boston, the goal is a championship. So I don't think they would be able to beat the reigning champions even with this mini cute little super team. Now, I do have a developing opinion. I was thinking a few hours ago that if I was Danny Ainge, I think the Celtics should be patient and wait it out and get these draft picks and draft the players and hope you get superstars at number 2 overall or 3 overall or 1 overall, wherever they're drafting. But if you're Danny Ainge, do those kind of people, do they really have that much patience? They want to win now. They're competitors. They want to do it now. He's the GM now. Brad Stevens is in place now. You got pieces now. So I don't agree with it. I don't think they're going to win the championship with Paul George and with Gordon Hayward. But I kind of understand why he wants to do it. Do I think he should do it? Absolutely not. I think if you want to win a championship, patience is the answer. You draft, you develop, you get a superstar you have to hit. But that's how you get the championship ultimately. I don't think your mini super team, as you said, is going to beat the actual super team that's in Golden State. And we still don't know if they'd even be able to beat Cleveland.
All right, I am in for this because I think we all thought we'd be getting Hayward all along. And now you get George from what reportedly isn't the Brooklyn pick next year. I'm willing to get rid of Marcus Smart and Avery Bradley and Jay Crowder and some of those ancillary guys in your starting lineup. If you don't get rid of the Brooklyn pick, you get Jason Tatum, you have Isaiah Thomas, Al Horford, you keep Jaylen Brown.
So you're saying they don't get rid of the Brooklyn pick for next year?
From everything I've been hearing, they wouldn't in this deal.
Okay.
It's the pick that they got back from the 76ers. It's the Memphis pick. I'm in regardless because I've decided that I don't care about how good Golden State is. You can't, compete with your neighbor. Your house, your lawn isn't always going to be as good as the neighbor. Worry about yourself. Worry about what you can do to make yourself look good. And if LeBron James goes to the Lakers next year, the East is theirs. Who else is good in the East?
All right, but hold on.
So let's get better. I think it's a unique situation for the Celtics in that they have these top 5 picks. So usually teams who have top 5 picks are bad. So these guys are in the starting lineup and they develop and they start from scratch. The Celtics are straddling this line of having win now and developing young guys. So Isaiah Thomas, Al Horford, those guys aren't getting any younger. So I'm okay with being all in and still having the Tatums and the Jaylen Browns come up. But like you mentioned, the patience with Danny Ainge, not since 5 years ago when they were in the Eastern Conference Finals with the Big Three or the NBA Finals, whatever it was. This has kind of been a few years now. We've all been waiting on the Brooklyn picks. Like, let's go already, right?
You mentioned the lawn analogy. Don't like that analogy because if this guy's lawn and his house is nicer than yours, well, nobody's going to say, well, that guy's a winner and your lawn and your house, you're a loser. That's not how that works. But in basketball, in the NBA, you're a champion and everybody else is a loser. That's how it goes. So you need to have a better lawn and a better house than that guy, or you're a loser.
But you can't compete until you make yourself better. If you keep looking over your shoulder and not worrying about yourself, then you're not going to get better.
The goal is to find a way to have the biggest house on the block.
See,
that's all you can do.
If you can just get to the NBA Finals, see where the chips fall then, maybe someone's injured on Golden State.
Listen, I will say this, and we don't know. There's reports. If they don't have to give up that Brooklyn, I assumed that Indiana would be after that Brooklyn pick.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't they be? If they don't have to give that up, then I'm for Paul George coming. I'll give up pretty much anything else other than Jaylen Brown for Paul George. And depending on what the package would be,
And I think
I'd be
it'd
willing
be
to listen.
signing him so he'd be under contract for a few years.
Yeah, because you can't have him just be a
Now,
rental.
the other wrinkle is if they don't get George, potentially going after Blake Griffin. How do you feel about that?
I hate Blake Griffin. I do not want Blake Griffin. I have nothing to say about Blake Griffin. I don't want him on the Celtics. Here's what I don't want this to be, okay? I don't want this to be, you have 2 kids, a daughter. I have 2 kids, a daughter, 3 years old. This cannot be a situation where she's whining, she's impatient, and you give in and she shuts up for a few minutes, but then later she'll whine again because she thinks she can get what she wants, you know, and then she does it again, and she's always whining because she thinks that's how she gets what she wants. It's better to just take the hit at that time for the greater good down the road. So it would feel good to get Paul George now, but I don't know if that's going to be the best thing.
I don't think Danny is impulsive, though. I mean, at this juncture right now, this crossroads where they're at, who else is coming up in a year or two on the free agent market that would be a game changer? And listen, it's so unique in what Golden State has, like 4 of the top 10 players on their team and what the Cavs are doing, that who else in the league, we know they're not getting Anthony Davis or Giannis into Kotopu or whatever, so this is kind of what's out there for the foreseeable future. If they can keep the Brooklyn pick, let's go. I'll figure out anything else to do. Keep those 3. Brown, Tatum, Brooklyn pick. And then hopefully that's your big 3, and then you can do whatever you want and get George and compete. And I mean, we'll see. Okay.
Okay, the NBA draft was last week. We haven't touched on it on this show. How do you grade the Celtics and what they did in the draft last Thursday?
Initially, when they made the trade from 1 to 3, I wasn't a big fan because, you know, you finally get the 1 pick, the Brooklyn stuff coming to fruition, just kind of cash in the chips. And the more I see Lonzo Ball, I kind of like, I don't know. If he's the next Jason Kidd, I wouldn't mind having him, but I think there are some complications with Isaiah Thomas. Where they were draft night, number 3 pick overall, Josh Jackson, Jason Tatum, De'Aaron Fox. I wanted Jason Tatum. I'm glad they took him because he's a scorer. They have enough guys that do other things, energy, defense, rebounding. I think the Celtics need another scorer. That's even with Hayward coming in and with Isaiah Thomas. What happened last year in the Eastern Conference Finals when the Cavs were shutting down the Celtics? They just couldn't get anyone to score. So I like the Tatum pick. He's NBA ready, which helps in this awkward transition of being a title contender and having young guys. So I think he can come in. And listen, I don't think he's going to, score 20 a game as a rookie just because I don't think he'll get the minutes. But I think he'll be able to. You can be able to throw it to him in the post, and he can turn around and hit a jump shot. He's a great free throw shooter. Has to work on his 3 ball, but I think it's a good pick. So I gave them a B+.
I'll go B+ too. I think he should get the minutes. This is a top 3 pick. Get the guy the minutes. Get him some experience and help him develop. That's what I think should happen. I like it because they made a pick. They drafted a guy. So that's good. That goes along with what I just talked about in the last segment. And they're able to, hopefully develop him, and he turns into one of the elite scorers in the NBA. So I like that. I hear what you're saying about the number 1 overall spot. It'd be nice to draft there just for the sake of, you had the pick. It's kind of a monumentous occasion
for the organization. Now we're looking over our shoulders. Fultz going to be this great player.
Right, now you're really under the microscope if Lonzo Ball turns into the next Magic Johnson. Or then that's awful because you passed. So we'll see. I like it. Again, B+, but to be determined because we have to wait and see how these guys pan out, and it takes a while. But I like it. They drafted the guy, and you put him with Brown, and now we see where we're at.
All right, let's move on now to the NFL Network's annual Top 100 ranking. For the second time in his career, Tom Brady, number 1 on that list. Let's remind you, he turns 40 August 3rd. Does Brady deserve number 1 status, and are you surprised? Because I'll make the argument that a lot of people in the NFL are a little salty, envious of Tom Brady.
Yeah, that's I think the theme of this. I'm surprised that his peers would vote him the best player in the game. He's obviously deserving of it. The year he had last year, forget his age, the Super Bowl. I mean, the last taste, the last piece of the cake that he had was as good as it got. So that is not surprising. But as far as people and how they feel about Tom Brady around the league, yes, that is surprising. I was trying to think, I actually tweeted this out. Do you ever remember a player that had so much game and so much old man respect as Tom Brady? Maybe Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. He was 38 and 85 when the Lakers beat the Celtics. He was awesome in that series. So that guy was older and was still playing at an elite level. I don't know. There's probably others out there, but Brady probably has some. I mean, when you get old enough, it's eventually going to start to turn into respect. The guy has been unbelievable for the league, for the Patriots. I mean, you can't deny it anymore. He's an older in terms of an NFL player. He's older, veteran. Those guys often get a lot of respect. And you watch how he plays. I'm sure there's part of that that's factored in here. I was a little surprised. I thought Von Miller was going to get number one.
Yeah.
Because he was still kind of off the Super Bowl from 2 years ago. I thought it would be Von Miller. But no, Brady definitely deserved it. So for once, they got it right on Roger Goodell's network.
Yeah, I was surprised. Mostly because I think most of the players are not. Defensive guys are kind of quarterback haters, right? Especially like the Terrell Suggses of the world, people who are attacking the quarterback. They're more inclined to vote for a defensive end or a linebacker like Von Miller. So I was surprised that Brady got it. I think without question he's number one based on the fact that he played 12 games last year and was neck and neck with Matt Ryan for MVP, and then the credentials, the Super Bowl. But this list is based on, I guess, past performance. So will he be number one throughout this season? I think Patriot fans think so. There's no reason to think he's going to fall off the proverbial cliff, but one of these years he's going to slow down. But right now, this moment, I take him number one.
Here's the thing. Last thing I'll say on this. Based on the Super Bowl that we just came off of, that I just alluded to, what are you going to say? What are you going to say? There's nothing to say. He shut everyone up.
From
the Patriots, they win every argument. There's nothing to say. Put him number one. Now, the list that Chris Dunn, former PC Friar, doesn't want to end up on is top NBA draft busts. Yanni, do you think he'll end up an NBA draft bust or an NBA bust?
No, I'll say, it's been 1 year. Right now, I'll say no. He has skills right now that don't always translate to the NBA in terms of things that people gush over for in terms of like all rookie teams. He doesn't have a very good jump shot. He didn't score much last year. I think he averaged under 4 points a game. But what does he do well? He facilitates well. He's athletic. He plays good defense. I think there's room for him to succeed in the NBA with his skill set. But for him to be a truly impact player, he has to learn how to score more. Obviously, with Minnesota, it wasn't an ideal situation, splitting time with Ricky Rubio. Now he's heading to Chicago. I don't know how that works with Rajon Rondo. I don't know what his contract situation is. But if he gets the right situation, we watched him so much in PC, I think he has the raw talent to do something. But do I think he'll ever make an all-star team? Right now, I'll say no. Does that make him a bust for being, fifth overall? Probably not, because when you look at top 5 picks, how many of those become all-stars? Probably a small percentage. I mean, number 1 picks, when you look at it over the last 15 years, are 50-50 success. So I won't call him a bust, but I don't think he'll make an all-star team.
I do not think he'll be a bust. I will admit that it was a very disappointing rookie year. I thought, personally, he was the best player or would wind up the best player in the draft. And I'm not alone in being surprised. I remember Tim O'Shea of Bryant just gushing at the podium after Bryant played PC last year. That guy's seen a lot of basketball, and he had just the world to say about Chris Dunn. But remember, who are we talking about going to the Celtics? Gordon Hayward? We're talking about him like he's the next KG, and I believe he made his first All-Star team in his 7th year. I mean, it takes time.
Some time.
Six seasons. It takes time for these guys to develop.
There's one thing you can learn, it's shooting. You can't learn to be fast or
No,
athletic.
I mean, look at what Avery Bradley did last year. Tons of improvement with his shot. He's become a legitimate two-way player. So that's good to see from him. You hope you see something a little sooner from Chris Dunn. I'm not going to call him a bust right now. There's time in the NBA. It takes time, but I will admit I thought we'd see a little bit more out of him in his rookie season.
And especially he played 4 years in college. It's one thing that these 19-year-olds that come up. But if he finds the right system, I think he can really thrive.
I don't like that. I like my player to be good no matter what system. But if that's what it takes, all right.
All right, last topic here. Bill Belichick, 5-time Super Bowl champ. We know he summers right now in Nantucket. That is his girlfriend, Linda Holiday, on the cover of, I guess it's Nantucket magazine. And I don't know if that's blue steel he's rocking there from Zoolander, but heavily makeup, They look good. Power couple.
The question is, what is this
couple? What does this magazine cover say to you?
I feel like if he was going to say anything, he'd want to say something about how he smells. Like, I just smell like success,
Rich
don't
mahogany?
I? Yeah.
You're actually saying what's in his head right now?
Yeah, I'm trying to think what,
like a bubble, like above his head?
Yeah, it says money, it says power. I mean, I don't know. I'll be honest with you, I don't think he's dreaming or daydreaming about a cut-off sweatshirt at this moment. I think he's enjoying being dressed up like this.
I saw him at a Celtics playoff game. He wore a shirt, a suit, coat, and a pocket square. He's starting to.
This is George Clooney right here.
I wouldn't go that far. He's got a few more wrinkles, but hair looks pretty good.
Yeah.
He's got a good tan. I mean, listen, how much was edited, post picture?
Not my problem.
I'll say this. Ever since he started dating Linda Holiday, he's much more out there, publicly.
Better half,
shown. She's snapped photos of him on their boat and doing other things with Donald Trump or what have you. You know what this is? The fact that he's on Nantucket Magazine and not ESPN Magazine. It's when I have my little downtime and I'm out here on Nantucket, this is, love my success, relax, enjoy my summer Bill Belichick. This isn't game planning Bill Belichick. And I think it's a little bit of an FU to all the haters out there. Like, hey, I'm going to pose on this magazine with my girlfriend, and whether you like it or not, I'm going to look great while doing it.
All I can say is I just wish there was a press conference this week. I mean, I would have so many questions.
So, he'll be doing this for the next, month, and then we'll see him at training camp.
What is he saying to you here? What do you see? What does he say to you?
You like those rings?
Something like that. I could see that.
Do you think he has all 5 on his hand cut off by the magazine?
I'm not sure.
What do you think when they're like, hey, one more, Bill? Do you think he's like, that's it, we're done?
No, I think he's embracing this moment. I think he's embracing this photo op.
All right, we have, we're both married. They're not married, but a serious relationship. How much of her telling Bill to do this played into it versus how much poking did she need to do to get him to do this?
I mean, you listen to your woman. That's how it goes. So he's a smart man if he listened to her to do this.
I never remember this media blitz with his first wife. He wasn't out there as much.
Look, Tom Brady has definitely been influenced by Giselle and her theories and ideas that she's kind of the way she operates her business, her empire. He's been influenced. America's winningest team, so she must be a part of the winning that goes on. So, yeah.
And listen, he did the CNBC interview this year.
This is all about his eyes. This is all about the eyes. Like, yeah.
Is he seducing you there?
No, yeah, he's trying to. You think you know, but you have no idea. Something like that.
It's more of like, you like these rings? You like this hot blonde on my shoulder here? Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah, I mean, it's an attempt.
And she's of the appropriate age. Robert Kraft's girlfriend after Myra was a little too young in my estimation.
Yeah, that was a little different.
I think we're running out of time here.
Yeah,
you're literally like staring at Bill, like drooling.
No, I'm just trying to assess the picture.
All right, that'll do it for the latest episode of Double OT. Catch it online, WPRI.com, on social media, at Mark Dondero, at Yanni Caracas. Anything you want to add?
Have a good 4th.
You too. We'll see you next time.